Hey yo, what it do, X2? Listen, we're here with another video. Yeah. But we got how Zack and Cody escaped from Disney and how they are never coming back. Now, I'm a big fan of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Sweet Life on Deck, you know what I mean? Dylan and Cole Sprouts, you know what I'm saying? Childhood, you know what I'm saying? Childhood memories, you know what I mean? Without saying too much, let's get it started.
That child stars struggle adapting to a more normal life after television fame,
Why does it sound like he started mid-sentence?
It's far too common that child stars struggle adapting to a more normal life after television fame, mostly because of the pressure enforced on them at such a young age, plus all the flaws.
Orlando Brown, bro. Oh my gosh, I forgot about y'all. Dang. I mean, I'm glad he doing better now. Like last time I saw yo, he was doing better. I saw him like in like a church or something. It was like on Instagram or something like that.
Successes and failures are publicized to millions of people. Dylan Sprouse and Cole Sprouse are two identical twins that had wildly successful careers that started when they were just 8 months old. We know that Disney actors are often overworked, develop emotional trauma, and have a hard time getting away from the label of child star. Even at a young age, the twins realized this and started their master plan to capitalize on the rewards of being a Disney star, only to escape and leave their past behind them forever. Make sure you're hydrated while watching this video. Dylan and Cole Sprouse are the 30-year-old twins mostly known for their two major hit Disney TV shows, The Sweet...
Whoa! 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 Wait a minute. Hold on. Huh. 30 is crazy. 30 is something I need to wrap my head around. 30. What the fuck is happening here? Tom need to slow down just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. Slow down.
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and the sequel, Sweet Life on Deck. But before they did that, they had some other pretty major accomplishments. They starred as Julian in Big Daddy. They played Ross's son on Friends, voice acting in 8 Crazy Nights, as well as a ton of different TV roles and direct-to-video films. Not only were the two adorable and talented actors, but being identical twins gave them an advantage. It allowed Hollywood producers to cast them as the same person. Child labor laws prevent actors under 18 from being overworked. When Cole was done shooting a scene, Dylan would step in to do the other, and they would trade off, and producers were able to get double the work out of essentially one kid. 2005, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Danny Callis, who ended up writing the show, always dreamed of doing his version of Eloise at the Plaza, which was a family film about a sweet but mischievous 6-year-old who lives in the Plaza Hotel in New York City. He actually wrote the idea of the show 2 times and tried to sell it to different networks. When he approached the Disney Channel, they actually said to him, "Here's 2 twins. What can you build around them?" He wrote the idea for The Sweet Life for the 3rd time, and it got picked up. The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody was about 2 twin boys who live at the 5-star Tipton Hotel because their mother was an employed singer who performed in the lounge multiple times per week. While she was working or sleeping, the boys would find themselves getting into all kinds of predicaments that they had to work together to get out of. Zack, played by Dylan, was the cool, outgoing, and self-centered brother, while Cody, played by Cole, was the more mature, nerdy, and gentle twin. Exactly the same as Drake and Josh. But what's funny is, Dylan and Cole ended up being very similar to their roles on the show in real life. The boys had amazing chemistry together because they were 1, actually brothers, and 2, had been working since before they had conscious thoughts. The show also followed the hotel owner's daughter, London Tipton, played by Brenda Song, who was a parody character of Paris Hilton. She was scatterbrained, rich, and solely focused on boys and fashion, as well as the candy counter employee, Maddie, who was hardworking and intelligent. One thing I gotta give the show mild props for is that they reversed the nerdy, smart Asian and dumb blonde stereotypes. Mr. Mosby was the nervous hotel manager who would often try to ruin Zack and Cody's fun. He was like a father figure to them as well. When The Sweet Life aired in 2005, it was the most successful premiere in Disney Channel history. It was nominated for 3 Emmys and is wildly loved by fans.
Dang.
These two were living the dream life kids like myself around the world wanted so bad. Plus, if you watch interviews from around this time, they were infectious. They were so lovable.
Now, are y'all both, do you have girlfriends?
No, we are single men. I'm actually looking for a Christian girl with morals and values.
Disney knew they needed to keep them around longer, so they came up with a sequel in 2008, The Sweet Life on Deck. Before they started a new show, they had a gap year, so Dylan and Cole actually got jobs at a comic book store called Meltdown in LA. Most of what they did was packaging, putting the comic books in the little sleeves. But their father always taught them that they can't get wrapped up in celebrity status. The 16-year-olds were kids just like everybody else, and that they needed some balance in their life. The boys picked up hobbies. Cole started his journey into photography, and Dylan got into drinking alcohol, which would be his next passion. But filming was about to start again, and it was time for them to quit the comic book store. The Sweet Life on Deck airs in 2008 to over 5 million viewers. Now they were on the SS Tipton, which was a cruise ship that they lived on, which created tons of new opportunity for them to get in trouble. None of the characters developed much over time. Cody stayed the soft, innocent dork, and Zack stayed the selfish jock. But we were growing up with them. We even watched Cody have to deal with his voice cracking, and the boys looking for their first armpit hairs. They were like the little brothers we always wanted. The two shows ran from 2005 to 2011, 168 episodes plus a movie. This was technically the longest running live action show if you combine them. Fans loved the sequel. Some people even thought it was better than the original. I personally think the original was better, but we can fight it out in the comments.
Yeah, the original
Naturally,
was better.
like all shows that depend on children, they can only last so long. Dylan and Cole were now 18 and looked vastly different than when they started. But the truth is, they didn't want The Sweet Life to end as abruptly as it did. The twins wanted to produce and direct one more season of The Sweet Life. They came up with an idea where they graduate high school, move off the ship, and go back to Boston. In their downtime at college, they would meet a single dad with a child at the hotel. Zack and Cody would kind of raise the boy up like a little brother, showing him all the crazy stuff in the hotel, leading him into wacky situations. The final season could have been the perfect way to transition into a whole new show based around the young boy. Cole said that the goal of this was to transition them out of the show. That way the cast and crew didn't have to lose their jobs that they had for the past 6 years. Disney executives laughed in their faces for the idea they came up with, which led to a 5-year hiatus in acting. Here you will see a photo of Dylan Sprouse working as a host in a New York City restaurant, just 2 years after the Disney Channel, which led to multiple assumptions that he was broke.
But when you see a picture of a guy who has made, presumably, and I'm making a presumption here, a lot of money off of a television series, and that he's
Broke? Huh? Broke is crazy. You know how much... Nah, broke is crazy. I ain't gonna lie. He's been on Disney Channel since he was like... Since 05. 6 years of straight money? What? From just one show. And 2 years later, he broke. Come on now. Come on now.
he's working in a restaurant.
And it's not like they're dumb. Like, they're smart. Like, they... Whatever.
Wouldn't that be a reasonable conclusion?
I mean, I definitely think that that's in mind. Although it is negative, it's just a negative way to think for the most part. People can work jobs like that for experience, and I think that's kind of the way I targeted it.
If I didn't know anything about the
He's broke down. Say no.
Sprouse twins, I would have assumed the same thing. But what you will notice in the rest of this video is that the boys, mostly Dylan, have done a lot to escape their previous lives. They both got accepted to New York University and decided to dorm with everyone else and go to college full time. Dylan was majoring in video game design and was something of a video game addict. Cole was an archaeology student, majoring in geographical information systems. He traveled all over the world through their program and even made a big discovery. Cole unearthed a mask of Dionysius in Bulgaria. They both were quite literally just normal college kids from 2011 to 2014, focused on their studies and working side jobs in their free time. This type of normality most definitely prevented them from ending up like countless other child celebrities. Child stars face a lot of pressure to immediately get an adult acting role or start a music career. Whatever.
I ain't gonna lie, child stars, like child acting stars, I ain't gonna lie, watching them grow up and then like turn out the way they do, it's sad, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, like, it's sad because when you're a kid and you're watching like these people in these shows like live this great life, like at the time, you know, you're a kid, you don't even know the value of $1, but like just seeing like how happy they are in the show, and then like years later you be like, you find out like stuff behind the scenes, they be like, they did what? They was with who? They was doing what? They addicted to what? They spent this much money on what? It's like, yo, that's just crazy to me. Kind of rocks. It rocks the reality. Well, it rocks the perception of them, obviously, and then like just like how much you thought you knew about them. You know what I mean?
Whatever it is, if they don't outdo Disney or Nickelodeon, it seems like a step down because they have millions of fans that want them to still be their 13-year-old selves, but when you get into your 20s, you just want to move on. The pressure ends up eating them alive and they make mistakes.
But
Then it's
the
highly
same
publicized, which compounds the initial mistakes.
Okay. Okay. This picture is crazy because usually I'm able to tell them apart. I think yo on the left is Cole and then yo on the right is Dylan.
Then it's highly publicized, which compounds the initial problem.
Where are my
So instead of
closed
going down the
captions,
dark
by the way?
Hollywood path, the twins did the exact opposite. Let's fully step away from this. We can't be compared to our old roles if we aren't doing anything at all. They did stay popular on Twitter and social media and would let the jokes fly. Oh, I get it, Selena. Too good to follow your old pals, Dylan and Cole, huh? This is just like when we were 12. Cole started an Instagram page called Camera Duels, where he would post pictures of people that were trying to secretly take pictures of him, accompanied with comically long captions of him critiquing their strategies. The only scandals or controversies they got in were pretty mild. Dylan took lewd pictures of himself that leaked. Because of this, he gained hundreds of thousands of followers, so it kind of helped him. Then Cole started a Tumblr social experiment that legitimately made some of his fans turn on him, where he pretended to be himself in order to get fans to engage with him. While they were engaging, he was writing deep and philosophical paragraphs on why their perception of him is flawed. Then after 1 month, he deleted his account, told everyone it was a social experiment, and basically made fun of them for idolizing him and engaging. Kind of a douchey move. Like I said before, Cole and Dylan are a lot like Cody and Zack. Cole is the philosophical, poetic, artsy boy who thinks super deeply about everything. Dylan, while still being artsy and well-educated, likes to slam beers with the bros and have a good time. We get it, you're Dylan Sprouse, and you're livid about games and journalism, even though you can't fight me IRL. Catch these hands? We are as the sun. The rays come bearing to our soft-spoken souls, dancing torpidly upon the frail shudder of angst. Your Insta. Remember when I said Dylan discovered his love for alcohol at age 16? Due to his love for history, he became interested in the ancient alcoholic beverage mead, which apparently is the oldest alcohol ever that can be traced back 8,000 years.
I've heard of
It's a
that, I
fermented
think.
beverage made of honey, water, and yeast. During his college years, he would
Yeah.
practice making his own mead. Some batches were good, some were terrible. But no matter what, he and his roommate Matt got drunk. When Dylan graduated college, he was taking some acting gigs, but he had more free time and wanted to pick up a hobby. Since he was passionate about brewing, he got an internship at a distillery called Kings County in Brooklyn. Working there and getting immersed into this world made him realize how badly he wanted to pursue this hobby into something bigger. The All-Wise Meadery was born, which is his Brooklyn meadery where he actually makes the alcohol himself. A lot of people in the brewing community doubted Dylan. They thought he was a privileged actor boy who grew up with everything and wanted to take over their hard-earned reputation. They didn't realize how passionate he was and how much respect he had for mead and brewing. Plus, he had a lot of people just saying he was another celebrity endorsing a product. Like, he didn't care for it, it was just for money.
I have to explain a lot that I'm actually brewing it, right? I have to explain a lot that these are my recipes. I have to explain a lot to people that this is my business and I'm here every day I can be. That comes as a surprise to a lot of people.
It's kind of wild to see someone go for a much more humble job serving the local community rather than chasing Hollywood fame. Cole, on the other hand, was pursuing his photography career. Not so much for money, but rather the art. One day he asked Traveler magazine if he could work on a piece for them. They said yes, but not for money, since they had no idea he did anything outside of the Disney Channel. So Cole took a 3-day train journey from the West Coast to the East Coast and documented the process. They ended up publishing his article digitally. While this isn't some massive success story, it just shows the boys were trying to broaden their horizons with the luxury of not needing big paychecks.
Not
He would
for
go on to
money.
be a respected photographer
What?
and get some of his pieces published in high-profile magazines. But Cole would ultimately get back into acting. In 2017, he got a consistent role on the
Riverdale.
wildly successful teen drama show Riverdale, which has been running for 7 seasons, as well as lead roles in the movies 5 Feet Apart and Moonshot. I definitely see Cole pursuing more large acting gigs in his career. Dylan did also get back into acting in 2017. His team suggested that he shoot for lead roles in big projects like his brother, but he prefers small indie films and wanted to participate on good projects regardless of the character size or depth. Dylan still spends a lot of his time focusing on video games. He's extremely immersed in Dungeons & Dragons and offers his help with indie game developers. He even recently released his own comic book called Sun Eater. My brother and I used to get quite a bit of, "Oh, you made it out. Oh, you're unscathed." No, the young women on the channel we were on were so heavily sexualized from such an earlier age than my brother and I that there's absolutely no way that we could compare our experiences. Cole has been vehemently against child stars getting criticized for their downward spirals, because there are mostly women being targeted and the public doesn't seem to understand the difficulty of being a child star or what goes on behind the scenes. Dylan and Cole actually started getting into acting because their family needed money, so they put their 1-year-olds to work. This sounds like a recipe for disaster, but it seems as if their parents instilled the right values in them to maintain balance as a celebrity. Some people believe Disney exhausts and overworks children for our entertainment. Cole says that they didn't suffer as much trauma since they were boys, which could be very true. I also believe that stepping away from the spotlight and pursuing something normal was the key to them maintaining their sanity and integrity. Although they look back on their past fondly and came out unscathed, we will never get a Sweet Life of Zack and Cody reboot.
I'm asked all the time if Dylan and I are going to do a Sweet Life reboot, and I go, no, absolutely not.
Honestly, confidently, no. They're like, no, I don't think that we will.
Hey man,
It's far too
I think that video was well put, honestly. That was a nice, recap on Dylan and Cole Sprouse. I think it was S tier video. Matter of fact, hold on. There you go, big dog. Yeah, I think that was a really good video. It was a nice insight on how some celebrities kind of grow up and what they do after Disney or Nickelodeon or whatever. And just to kind of have sympathy for the ones that didn't turn out so well, and just all of that expectation kind of breaking them. So but if you enjoyed, you know what to do, subscribe and join the XT crew, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna see you in the next video. Peace.